Welcome to Nick on Knicks, where your boy N.I.C rants about the latest Knicks game. That is one of the better offensive performances that you will see, not just from the Knicks, but in the entire NBA ever. The Knicks played with amazing efficiency from the very beginning. The first quarter, I felt like, was one of the best quarters that they've had all season. Yes, we've had plenty of quarters where we have scored more points, but we have not had a quarter where we put it together on both sides of the ball, defensive and offensively. We just came out with a totally different mindset than you saw on Saturday in Utah, and they took care of business. They played a Nuggets team that is, a championship caliber team. They have the best player in the entire NBA on their team, and the Knicks made it not competitive from the very beginning. The game looked the most competitive in probably the fourth quarter when they got it from, 40 to 30. I'm sorry, 30 to 20 rather. That's probably when the game looked the most competitive, when Russell Westbrook started getting off, and it didn't matter because at that point we were already up by 30, like I said, and then your man, Tibbs is he's going to keep guys in. Okay. Tibbs is always scared that a lead is not safe. There's about 7 minutes left and we were up by 30. And I was like, man, please let us be up by 30 when it gets to 5 minutes. And hopefully Tibbs will get these guys out. They got it down to 20. So he did have them play a little bit longer, though, just over 3 minutes. He did go ahead and empty the bench. And it seemed like every time the Nuggets kind of felt like they had something going, the Knicks had an answer. The overall shooting numbers were fantastic for the Knicks. The Knicks overall shot 60%, 61% basically, 60.9% from the field. That's fantastic, obviously. 3-point percentage, 52.8. They are 14 of 16 from the line. And when you start talking about individual performances, you have to start with my guy, OG Anunoby. Yo, man, this OG jump is real. This OG turning into, Kawhi Leonard or Scottie Pippen or whatever it's real. OG tonight had 40 points, his career high. After a huge game in Denver, OG follows it up with his best offensive output in his entire NBA career. He shoots 5 of 7 from behind the arc, 16 of 23 overall. Suffocating defense, as always. The help block on Joker, and then that leading to him getting down the court for a transition layup. I think that one was a layup. He had so many dunks, it's hard to, but I'm pretty sure that one was just a layup. That was maybe the signature play of the game. OG Anunoby showing you the impact that he can have both on the defensive end and on the offensive end. Wow, man. OG is really doing his thing, man. He is totally taken that jump that you love to see after the player gets the bag. A lot of guys do it before their contract year. He got the bag and he took the jump. And now he's looking like a legitimate third all-star caliber player for the New York Knicks. Plus 21 on the night for OG. 5 rebounds, 5 rebounds, 1 offensive, 4 assists, the 1 block that we talked about, only 1 turnover with all, as much as, he obviously had the ball in his hands, but OG will get you 40 with about, other than like a Klay Thompson, man, he's not going to give you too many dribbles. And that's this Knicks team in general this year. That's one of the most beautiful things about watching this team is there's so many less dribbles. The ball moves. I love Julius. Julius is a dribbler. Okay. He needs to dribble a few times just to even get started, just to get loose, to think about what he's going to do. And now it seems like Brunson, because he has a more wide open floor and he has better scorers around him, he is dribbling less. And then you take you take Julius and you trade that for Cat. And Cat is just like one of the more efficient basketball players I've ever seen, especially for a guy who, is close to 7 feet tall. Cat's fantastic. And he had another fantastic night tonight. Karl Anthony Towns, he seems like an afterthought with 30 points and 15 rebounds on Joker. Joker's guarding him most of that time, and he was guarding Joker. Joker didn't play a lot in the third and fourth quarter because the game was so out of hand. But he had 31 minutes. He was 9 of 20 from the field, 2 of 7 from behind the arc. I thought the Knicks did a good job of inviting him to shoot threes because you don't want him taking dribbles and getting inside the paint. And now he either gets you on his back or he gets some sort of advantage, and he's either going to score himself. He seems like he makes all those little bunnies, or he's going to find the open man, which he does with regularity, which is why he's averaging over 11 assists per game this season. And the Knicks did a good job of making him a shooter. He had 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Come on, man. 22, 7, and 7 for Joker is a win. That is way below his season averages. And, I thought the Knicks did a very good job defensively on him. I thought the Knicks from the very beginning, they came out with a level of defensive intensity that has been lacking in many games this season. And when we see it, it's kind of maddening that we can't see it more often. Everybody top to bottom today, man. There was a play early on in the game, and I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was a play where, there was a backdoor pass, I think, made by Joker. I don't even remember to who it was, but the backdoor pass was made to him, and he initially seemed like he was open. And somebody made that last rotation. I want to say it was Josh Hart. And throughout the game, I saw Brunson do some good things, as far as being in places where he was supposed to be, making that rotation and helping the helper. But in that particular play, I thought they had a layup. We do enough just to harass the shot, and the guy misses the layup. And I'm like, that's the shot that against Utah was a dunk or an easy layup, and it was uncontested. We weren't giving that extra effort. Okay, I might be beat, but I'm still going to give that extra effort. We were doing that tonight. Man, and it was good to see. It was good to see the Knicks go ahead and say, hey, man, just like Josh Hart said in the postgame after the Utah game, we've got to be better than this defensively. Everybody who watches his team, and many of the players have said it, Tom Thibodeau has said it, it's clear something has to happen to make the defensive effort that we saw tonight be consistent. We've given up less than 100 in quite a few games this season. Tonight, we give up 118. And 118, honestly, 118, when you're scoring 145, which I think is the highest point total for any team in the NBA thus far this season, against a Denver team, like I said, that is not like a defensive stalwart, but is a championship caliber team and a decent defense. But the Knicks come out and they just wax them in every single quarter. The Knicks closed every single quarter well. You could argue maybe not the fourth quarter, but the first 3 quarters, they closed all of them well. And they began a third quarter well, which I thought was so important because when you have that big lead, team, they get a tongue lashing at halftime. They come out, and what you want to do is you just want to, just go ahead and step on their necks. And I thought that's exactly what the Knicks did out of the break. I love that part. Open up these notes real quick. Let's see. What are some of the things I thought? The Brunson floaters, it just seems a little off. There's a lot of little floaters and little close, little short jump shots and things that he takes off balance that I'm used to him making that I've seen him miss. But I definitely have faith that our guy, JB, will figure that out. But then after missing that early floater, Brunson had that bounce, man. Brunson had that bounce in his step. He started moving around. He started, there was a point where he had hit a turnaround fadeaway. And then after that, he hit a deep 3. And I was like, oh, okay. Brunson's got it going tonight. And then Brunson just started picking the defensive part apart. He had 23 points overall. He has a career high 17 assists. Aye, Captain. That's what we need out of you, brother. That's exactly what we need. Brunson was I felt very measured. He picked his spots. Clearly, he was getting guys involved, but, he also was aggressive. I mean, what an efficient 8 of 14. You give me 23 points on 14 shots. Yes, sir, may I have another? And then we love the 17 points. Assists. This entire team was moving the ball. We tied the all-time record, tying a game against Cleveland back in 1979 with 45 total assists. The Knicks have had some gaudy assist numbers this season. I know as of a couple games ago, we had like 8 games over 30 assists, and we had 10. So this is definitely at least the 9th. And we were averaging 27.7 assists. So that number, I'm sure, has gone up as well. Knicks just doing a fantastic job of sharing the ball. And, it's the combination of Towns and Bridges both being just very efficient players. And also just overall, there's a mindset with this team. And I don't know if that's because of the subtraction of some other players that we've had, or it's the addition of the new players, or it's just a change in mindset, but the ball moves. It does not stick. It does not stick. Brunson, a little bit at the beginning of the season, you saw the ball stick somewhat, and especially in clutch moments, he's gotten out of that. He's figured that out just like he figures every other thing out. And Brunson's looked great, and the ball moves. And when this team plays competent defense, they'll win most nights. Utah, you got incompetent defense, and you got like just a clunker shooting the ball, which there was a lot of shots that I felt like this was a good possession. That's a good shot. We just didn't hit it again in the Utah game. So I'm not going to say like offensively we played so badly. In this course of 82, you're going to have a couple games like that. But I did think that the defense was lacking once again. And that's the part that's so maddening. I'm glad that Josh Hart called these guys out, called himself out in the press after the game, made it very, very clear that this is something that we know that we have to fix. And I think we will. Yo, subscribe to the channel. Your boy N.I.C, he comes to you after the Knicks games, and then he also comes to you once a week with why am I talking like the third person? I also come to you with my pops once a week with He Did This to Me. We've been doing that for over a year. I think it's we're at 64 straight weeks now, and we talk sports in general. We talk Knicks, we talk Mets, we talk Jets. Those are our teams, hence the name He Did This to Me. But we also just talk sports in general. So please show your support. We are on all platforms, wherever you listen to your podcasts, both Nick on Knicks and He Did This to Me. It's He_did this to me on all of the socials. Check us out. And really appreciate all the support. It's been a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I never begrudge or get annoyed when I have to do something that has to do with a podcast. I enjoy it. I really do. Knicks, man, Towns is wow, what a player this guy is. I don't buy in all the defensive stats. My eye test is telling me he's a decent defender. He gives the amount of effort that you need as a defender. And he's not always as effective as it seems like he deserves to be. But I think that over the course of the year, playing with this team, playing with the Tibbs defense around him, the guards and the wings getting a little bit better about keeping people out of the paint, that his numbers will improve. I think he's, tonight, like not a lot. You know what I noticed from him tonight? No stupid fouls. And he usually has at least like 2 of those a night. No stupid fouls for Cat tonight. Cat was under control, man. He did his thing. Like I said, 30 points, 15 rebounds for the big par. 4 assists as well. 3 steals for Cat. 3 steals. We like that, Cat. Man, great game by him. Like I said, almost like an unsung hero. 30 and 15 in light work. Mikal Bridges, kind of a stinker for him. 6 of 16, 2 of 8 from behind the arc. 14 points, 6 assists. That's good. We like that. 2 rebounds. But when you watch the game, Mikal he's have a tough time from the field. I'd like to see him. I was talking to my dad during the game. He and I were texting back and forth. And, he was screaming, like, why won't this guy just, go to the hole a little bit, maybe. He said, Hart, shake my head. Okay. And Bridges, dude, you're off. Go to the hole. Dish, you're more than just a 3-point shooter. WTF. Yeah, man. You want guys to shoot when they're open. I also would like to see Bridges sometimes just hunt the middies more when a three's not going. He's shooting them well from the corners. He's shooting them terrible from above the break thus far this season. That's all over Knicks Twitter. But I'm not willing to just be like, hey man, Bridges sucks. You know, there's a lot of people who are really, he's the current whipping boy right now. And I'm not there. I think that Bridges, to me, my biggest issue is just, I need you to be more aggressive on the defensive end. Defensively, there's games where he is up in the perfect example is Tyrese Halliburton. There was one game where it was Tyrese Halliburton, as in 0 points, and it was Bridges guarding him most of that game, making life difficult for him. And then in the other game, when he went off against us and he went back to being Tyrese Halliburton, Bridges, you know, he wasn't getting it done. He just wasn't. I watched the game. I rewatched the game, actually, that one. He was not playing the typical defense that he can play. And I don't know exactly what we need to have that switch turned on permanently, but that's something that we need if we want to be a championship team, is for Mikal Bridges to be consistent night in, night out, quarter to quarter, possession to possession, with the type of effort that he gives defensively. His example is the other half of what's the supposed wing stop, OG Anunoby. And OG's giving you buckets, 40-piece, and he's giving you top-tier defense every single night. And they'll put him on somebody small, they'll put him on somebody big, it don't matter. Help defense, whatever it is, OG gets it done. I need that. I'm not saying that you can be the savant and anticipatory mastermind that OG Anunoby is, but Bridges, you can give me that type of effort on a nightly basis, and you're a guy who is second in defensive player of the year, has made all defensive teams. I just need it. I just need it more consistently, brother. And I know you can do it. I know you can. And I'm hoping that you're just adjusting, new team, new whatever. It's just, I mean, you're playing Brooklyn yesterday, so you know everything else other than the actual team, and you're playing with a couple of your college teammates, and it's defense. It really shouldn't take that much chemistry. I think it's mostly defense. Really is about effort, and it's about technique. And then as a team, yes, there is some communication part that you have to get down as far as chemistry. But I would just like to see that more consistently from my guy Bridges. I got faith in him, though. He could do it. OG's shot is the purest of his career. I mean, his shot looks fantastic. Wow. Again, continue to love campaign and continue to be just, I don't know where I'll get to a point where it won't be weird to me that I actually like campaign. He's got 11 points tonight, 2 of 5 from behind the arc. Just a spark plug, man. Gets in there, gets after it. Jamal Crawford's talking about him. Yo, shout to Jamal Crawford, a guy who I loved in the Knicks uniform and who I loved as a player in general in the NBA, but especially in a time where the Knicks really, we sucked. Let's be real. It was nice to at least get some of those great moments from Jamal. And I hadn't, the last 2 games, I was at the game in Phoenix, and then the Utah game I watched on my phone. And I think both of those games were nationally televised anyway. So out here in Arizona, I wouldn't have been able to listen to Jamal either. So this was actually the first time I got to hear him do the whole telecast with Mike Breen. And I thought he was excellent. I really did. You know, I hate to say this, but Alan Hahn, Wally, they're not as good as him. They're not as fun to listen to as him. Great studio guys. And I think they both do pretty well on the play-by-play. Not Jamal Crawford, man. Jamal Crawford's better. It's more fun. And that was after 1 game. But I got to say it. Sorry. Deuce is back. Deuce. Like Breen said on the telecast, it doesn't matter where you are. When Deuce hits a 3, you hear that. Doesn't matter what arena in the entire NBA. If the Knicks went and played a friendly over in London, I'm sure they'd be screaming Deuce. Just goes to show how that Knicks fandom travels, how we have so many people that have moved out of the tri-state area who have New York roots and who are Knicks fans, and they continue to fly the flag and show up whenever they can, just as me and the big guy did last week in Philly. I'm sorry, in Phoenix. In Phoenix, it is our 2014. It's our 11th straight game that we've seen. Knicks trips to the desert. And I got to look up what the record is. I should look that up because it feels good. It feels good recently. Some tough losses. I remember Porzingis missed a shot late that could have won a game. And I think it was my first time ever seeing the Zinger live. But, these last two Brunson performances have been fantastic to watch in person. And the Knicks get to 2-1 on this road trip. Next game will be against Dallas on Wednesday. Does not look like Luka will be playing in that game with the wrist. Dallas is still going to be a tough matchup always. They won 129-119 against the Atlanta Hawks tonight. Hawks that beat us. Nothing is you can't look at anything and be like, yo, man, we should definitely win this game, especially after that game in Utah. Nothing is a sure thing right now. All right. Jericho Sims looked good. Jericho Sims had a couple blocks. How many blocks? He had 2 blocks, right? Yeah, he had 2 blocks. And did he score at all? I don't even know if he scored. No points, but that's fine. He didn't need to score. Jericho Sims looked good out there. He did. He's moving his feet, playing a little defense. And then Deuce comes back and he does Deuce things. Goes 3 of 6 from behind the arc, 5 of 9, 13 points. Deuce played well. He played good on defense, I thought, too. I saw him, make a couple defensive plays, had the 1 steal, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. Yeah, man. That's exactly what we need from Deuce. We missed you, buddy. Oh, man. Tibbs didn't give everybody out until the 219 mark because I'm looking now. Dottier, Kolick, and Ryan all had exactly 219. So, listen, as much as I wanted Tibbs to get people out, when they made that run and got it from 30 down to 20, and now Westbrook is getting off, and the nostrils are flaring. He's looking like he could, take it back to 2015 real quick. I was like, yeah, okay. I didn't really have Tibbs got him out when he should have got him out tonight. Can't get too mad at it. And when you look at the overall minutes distribution, nobody over 40. We love that. OG 37, Bridges 36. That's cool. Brunson 37, almost 38. Josh Hart, he was in foul trouble tonight, limited him to 27 minutes. Josh Hart had he got his 5th foul like early in the 3rd quarter. Tibbs was like, man, figure it out, dog. And he did not figure it out. He was mad at himself. He was 5 of 5 from the field, continues to finish in the open floor. Had a couple great assists in the open floor as well. How many assists did he have total? 5 assists for Josh Hart. 6 boards, 2 of those offensive. Good game from Hart. Good game from Hart. Other than the foul trouble, and a closer game. His foul trouble could have been something that really, really was a problem for us because he's such a connector on the floor. As I think Breen. Let me give Breen credit. I think Breen said that tonight. Such a connector, but that's it's a perfect way to describe him. He's a skilled guy who also is just somebody that. Over time, like he's just ingratiating himself to this fan base. He, like I've said before, he's the perfect guy to wear that jersey, and he's the perfect guy to wear that jersey with that number. My guy, Josh Hart, man. Heart of the city. Pumps blood into this team and into this city, that's for sure. Yeah, man, but the real story tonight is OG for sure. He's just continues to expand his offensive game. He hits shots. He's putting the ball on the floor. I saw a couple nice passes out of OG tonight. How many assists did OG have? 4 assists. 4 assists. I should have put that on the graphic. I had to the graphic. It's the first time I had to get 3 players on the graphic, but I was like, yo, man, all these guys need to be on here. Okay. I was a little annoyed. I couldn't figure out a way to get the 15, the 45 assists on there as well. But the Knicks have one of the best offensive outputs that you're going to see in the NBA this season, not just for the Knicks, but overall. And they get it done. And they will look to take these last 2 games of this road trip, take care of business. Yeah, man. I thought that tonight was a real blueprint about what this team can be when they come out with defensive intensity from the very beginning. The shots will not always fall. The defensive effort should always be there. And it can be. It can be. Let's take a look around the NBA real quick, see what we got. OKC, they're up big against Sacramento, 126-107. They're going to win that game, it looks like. There is only, 2:44 left there. Brooklyn up a point against the Golden State Warriors. I'd like to clown Brooklyn, but I've seen them twice this year, and you can't be taking no shorts with Brooklyn. Brooklyn's got some scores, and I'm especially impressed with the defense that they play. They really were, when I've watched them play 2 games against the Knicks, and I watched some of them play in another game. I forget who the opponent was, but in all the games I've seen, I see stretches where they're playing very, very good defense. And all those games were without Claxton too, who is one of their better defenders and really the only legitimate big man, rim protector that they have. Jordy Fernandez doing a decent job over there. They got a ton of picks. They got a ton of 12th graders coming to them, specifically from the Knicks. So we'll see if they're able to turn that into something. Golden State Warriors, they're up by 3 now against the Warriors, 107-104 with just under 5 minutes to go. And the Golden State Warriors are one of the better teams. I test everything that I've seen. I got OKC as being the best team in the league right now. I got Golden State too. I put Cleveland 3. In Cleveland, honestly, if you're just going off what you're seeing right now, I think that they are just that they look the best, but I question how Cleveland's game transfers to the playoffs. You want to play those 2 big men on the floor at the same time, but they got a good coach too, man. Kenny Atkinson is a good coach, solid. Pacers beat the New Orleans Hornets, but let me check out this box score because I heard whispers of a former Knick just really out there getting it done. And yes, that is Mr. Elfrid Payton with 14 points and 21 dimes tonight. Elfrid Payton is one of my least favorite Knicks of all time. I couldn't stand him when he was on the team. I couldn't stand him before he came to the Knicks. And when I first heard that he was coming to the Knicks, I was like, please tell me he's cut his hair. Because if you remember Elfrid Payton early on in his career, he had something going on up there that was it was disturbing to say the least. Let's just leave it at that. But even with a more well-kempt haircut, while he was on the Knicks, was one of the least offensively talented and or gifted point guards that I've ever seen. That's made it to the NBA. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be an NBA player. He should be. He should be on a roster. But the fact that, Julius Randle got a hard time for not being able to get past the Atlanta Hawks in that, I think that's that 2021. I want to say it's 2021 playoff series. The fact that Julius Randle was given a hard time about not being able to get past when his point guard was Elfrid Payton. Come on, man. That team overachieved. That was a lot of Julius, a lot of Tibbs, and a lot of Bullock. Like Bullock on that team. But Elfrid Payton is trash. And I don't know what's going on. But since he's been back this season, he's been added to the New Orleans roster. He's been getting some minutes. Tonight he had 14 points and 21 assists. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, Payton, good for him. What else happened in the league tonight? Detroit beat Toronto by 2. Ooh, Ivy wins it at the buzzer is what the highlight says. Come check out that highlight. RJ, 17 points. 17 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds for RJ. That's a bad game for RJ these days. RJ's balling. Been balling this season. 22.8 points, 6.2 rebounds, 5.9 assists per game. Even though overall those numbers are crawling back. That was like 26, 7, and 8, almost 9, like I feel like a week ago, if not too much longer. So Rowan is coming back to earth a little bit, but I still say that was a good trade for both people. It's a good trade for the Knicks, and it was a good trade for Toronto. The Knicks needed an efficient wing defender, more size, more 3-point shooting, and the Raptors, they needed somebody who handled the ball a little bit more, and could create. And that's what RJ gives them. So good for them. Worked out for everybody. Yeah, man, OG was just so good. Like I said, the way that we played, we ended every quarter well. We started the third quarter well. We just fantastic basketball. You know, I went to Tibbs might not have too many negative words for the team after the game or any critiques in the post game. Both him and Brunson pretty much always find something, but there's not a lot to look at tonight. Bridges was hot. We would have won by 40. Gotta come out against Dallas with that same defensive intensity, man. That's, to me, that just seems like something that should be able to be consistent on a nightly basis. I really feel that way. I know the Knicks expect that of themselves. I know Tom Thibodeau demands it of his teams. As I told my guy Knickerbocker Banter earlier, when he and I were on during halftime, he goes live on YouTube. Check him out. But as I told him earlier, I said, yo, when it comes to this team and it comes to the way that we play on a daily basis, when it comes to our overall defensive intensity, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that the Knicks were going to have one of the best offenses in the league, the best offense that I've ever seen as a Knicks fan in my entire life, and that the one thing that we were going to need to shore up was the defense, Tom Thibodeau coach team, got to feel pretty good at that. Got to feel pretty good. We're 10-7. We got 2 more games on this West Coast trip. Actually, well, it's 2 more games, but it's 1 more game. No, the Knicks, we play 2 more games out here, I think. And then we go, the last game before we come home is against the Charlotte Hornets. I want to say that game is on it's Friday early. Yeah, so that's what it is. I'm correct. We play Boston on Wednesday, and then Friday, noon Eastern, we play against Charlotte, and then the Knicks will have a little bit of a homestand. Good win tonight. Fantastic offense. OG, you that dude. Brunson dishing and swishing. Cat bounding and astounding. Great game tonight, man. Great game tonight. Nick on Knicks. Peace.